to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen. I have taken time to watch President's trip in Malava, Kakamega. And I want to promise you that after this video, I'm going to do an exclusive analysis on that end because there is something I want you to get from there. Now, in this podcast, I need to say that the president's tone in Malava, reacting to Raila Odinga's absence in the Kenyan political scene, the reaction, rather the statement from the president is misguided, irritating, but when I listen to the echoes from ODM party, Wanga, Ruto Odinga, Edwin Sifuna, Kajwang, a plan to inherit Raila Odinga constituency has collapsed. And what I see is a point of no return. That relationship cannot be mended. And I'm going to explain to you that keenly. By the way, guys, watch this podcast to the end. This is going to be an interesting one to see what's happening within the circles. And there is something for you I don't want you to miss here. But for us, first help us finish this house that we are building, the house we are building for Bildad here. We're building a house for Bildad, a single father of 4 in Migori, who got involved in an accident, came back home, and of course he was in crutches. He broke his spinal cord and became crippled. But the wife left him to take care of the 4 children, remarried. And so the 58-year-old Bildad has been forced to do manual jobs, even despite the fact that he's crippled. He's normally working, doing manual jobs just to provide for the children. And that is a video that really shocked us. And for this week, we said we are coalescing around the idea of building him a house. This is what we started on Monday. And so far, I can tell you that we really needed to build him a house. This is where Bildad was living. Hapa ndipo alikuwa anaishi na watoto. And it's raining and it has a very high risk. So that is why we came through to build for him a house.
Tangu nipate ajali, siwezi fanya kazi yoyote. Niko chini. Hapa ndiyo nyumba yangu, niko na watoto 4 hapa. Sasa naomba tu kama mnaweza kunisaidia nipate nyumba mzuri. Juu hii nyumba yangu hata iko karibu kuanguka. Na hapa ndio nimelala na watoto. Haki naomba tu kwa unyenyekevu na moyo wa Mungu mnisaidie haki. Niko chini, siwezi na sina chochote.
And so far this is where we have reached. As I said earlier, tushafikisha Linton. This is the latest, tushafikisha Linton. I'm already sorted. Mabati. These are the mabati. We already bought the mabati and they're already taken there. I'm already sorted on timber. Isn't is a roofing. So we also brought them there. And what is only remaining for that project to bring to its logical conclusion, to build that house, is what is only pending in that project ni the finishing ya nyumba, kuweka dirisha, milango, and the wallings. And we are also looking at putting tiles kwa floor. So with the deficit of around 80,000, which we want to believe that by 31st tomorrow, tutakuwa tumefikisha. And remember, we're also building a house, another small house for the children. Tumepewa mabati, so pia tunajengea watoto, ili hata tukijenga yake, pia watoto pia tunawajengea. And then later on, after we're done with the house, what will remain ni kuhakikisha kwamba tunawasaidia kulipia fees, buy uniform for the children, as we always do, and also get an economic activity for building. And may God bless you as you purpose to help. And I want to say thank you for the response. Thank you for responding to this call. Apart from political analysis, we always come big to respond to this. Ladies and gentlemen, Did I hear? I did some analysis here on Baringo rally. And you remember I said how the president struggled to explain broad-based in absence of Raila Odinga. Like how he was going to package it for the people. And for the last 2 days, yesterday on Wednesday, he was in Nakuru. He made some statement. Of course, I saw some people edited it. It sounded a bit not what it was. And then today he made another one in Malava. I want us to listen to these two statements because they are going to form the premise of, it's where we are going to base, our argument is going to base from there. This is Nakuru.
Ni wakulima sugu sana. Mumenisaidia kuzalisha chakula. Si mnajua kulikuwa na watu walikuwa wananisumbua kule Nairobi kwa street na kifuria kwa kichwa. Siku hizi wameondoka kwa sababu nyinyi mmenisaidia, mnazalisha chakula. Tumepunguza gharama ya mbolea, tumepunguza gharama ya mbegu, tuhakikisha kwamba wakulima wetu wanatusaidia kuzalisha chakula, tuondoe njaa katika taifa letu la Kenya. Kwa sababu nimefika hapa kwenu leo. Mimi najua mko na shule yenu hapa. Shule inaitwa nini? Murereshwa. Hiyo shule yenu ya Murereshwa, nimeambiwa kuna dormitory hapo, haitoshi wasichana wetu. Kwa hivyo mimi nampatia huyu mbunge wetu bwana Madam Wangare.
Yeah, Nakuru, some people edited it to show that probably alikuwa anasema anafurahia kuondoka kwa Raila. But that is, I've played the whole context. That was the context of that video. But today, in Malava, this one was, to say the truth, very sensitive, very insensitive, and for lack of a better word, unnecessary.
Sasa niwaulize, mtu hana akili anaweza kupanga mambo ya barabara? Mtu hana agenda anaweza kupanga matibabu? Sijui kama tunaelewana bwana. Na hawa watu, mimi nataka niwaambie, my friends, nyinyi majamaa wa ukabila, nyinyi majamaa wa mambo ya sijui nini, mambo ya kisirani, nyinyi jamaa watu wa chuki, mimi nawaambia mambo bado. Mambo bado. Wacha kwanza tupange mambo ya barabara, tupange mambo ya matibabu, tuunganishe stima, tusomeshe watoto wetu, tupange ajira hawa jamaa. Alafu tutakutana na nyinyi 2027. Ama namna gani? Tuko pamoja? Mimi nataka niwaulize nyinyi watu wa hapa Malava. Yaani mkiniona mimi hivi, ati wale watu tunashindana na watu ni wale? Yaani mtu ningeshingana na yeye ni Raila Odinga. Lakini sasa hawa nitawamalizia asubuhi na mapema. Very early in the morning. Wamepotea. Ama namna gani, my friends?
Yes, you are campaigning and you want to tell the country that you don't have a strong opponent. You did need to, of course, Raila died. Raila is dead, so Raila is not there. You are appearing before them for the first time. The way he's putting it, like, I only had Raila was the only strong candidate. You want to show the country that Raila was the strong candidate. But to some end, it can also be understood as someone celebrating the death. And in fact, there is something, the objective of that statement is to tell the masses that I cannot lose the general election because Raila is not there. Like, I want to ask, were people going to vote for president because Raila was there? That is not the basis of his re-election. His re-election is based on his track record. So, and he doesn't want to talk about that. That is why he's telling the masses that, look here, Raila is out of the way. If you look at these other people, can they win against me? That was a coded message. And I felt maybe Maybe I'm too sensitive. But I felt you needed to sound remorseful that Raila is dead. Angesema sasa baba ametuacha. Sasa venye baba ametuacha, I think if I was his person, kama baba ametuacha, nadhani kwamba baba ndio angenisumbua kidogo, lakini Mungu sasa, Mungu pia. There is something, the tone and that message, you can't appear to be gaining a political mileage from a misfortune. Doesn't look good, and for Raila support base, I think it's not clicking. But I want to show you why that is happening, and just to show you where we are coming from. I saw the president calling one Oparanya, who was to make a pitch on broad-based, and the only thing Oparanya could say to thank the president is for giving Raila Odinga state funeral.
Umeniingiza katika broad-based government kupitia kwa Raila Amolo Odinga. Na mimi nimekuwa naibu wa Raila Amolo Odinga miaka hii yote, miaka 13 nimekuwa deputy wa Raila Amolo Odinga. Kwa hivyo Raila ameenda, na ninataka nikushukuru sana wewe, ile masishi ulipeana kwa mheshimiwa Raila Amolo Odinga, ambaye yeye alikuwa kiongozi wangu wa chama na wewe ukiwa kiongozi wangu wa nchi. Sasa mimi niko na wewe 100%.
I don't know. The fact that Raila was given a state funeral is something that can be in a campaign rally. Even if we are looking for mileage, can that be in a campaign rally? I don't think so. I don't think that needs to be in a campaign rally. But this is what is happening. The way the president is talking, he's talking this way because the ODM team is drifting away from the broad-based deal. And this is what I want to demonstrate to you in the next minutes here. Make sure you watch. Immediately when Raila died, plan A was to hijack his funeral, and the funeral was hijacked to blindly run, of course, because there was some emotions were high, to run an emotional narrative that Ruto should be endorsed for re-election because Raila is not there. And let me tell you, to be specific, my MP, Honorable Samuel Atandi Meli, and some others were leading that battalion, but that narrative that sioni hapa ODM mtu anaweza kuwa president. Sasa to support Ruto. And they were pushing for immediate endorsement of the president's re-election. Why? As I said, and I'll repeat it, because people wanted a safe space. They wanted a conducive environment to gather as much as they can gather. And that is why at that funeral, the voice of Sifuna became prominent. When Sifuna said, these things you are saying here, Baba didn't say them. And you know, some of you thought when Sifuna is talking, why? And some people are saying, Sifuna is destroying Anaribu Mazishi ya Baba. I'm very sure Sifuna was speaking, and I did that analysis here, that Sifuna was speaking the mind of Odinga family. That is going to be confirmed in this podcast. Now, there are these statements from Ruto Odinga. Ruto Odinga is Raila Odinga's sister. He was with Raila in the US. And I want you to listen to something she said This screenshot is in her Facebook page. If you go to Facebook page and search Honorable Ruto Odinga, you'll find this screenshot. This is what is in it. What Kenyans and ODM members should know is that there were some people around Raila who took advantage of his caring heart and would declare that he had endorsed them. Raila had a focus inside and outside Kenya. Remember, at some point he was the AU permanent envoy for infrastructure. And because he did not want these people to feel hurt, they would have their way. And for the first time, what Ruth is talking about is something I once warned. Do you remember at Raila Odinga's funeral, John Mbadi, Oparanya, Joho, especially the three of them, in their speeches there was a chorus, 2 choruses. Mimi siwezi kuwa mahali baba hakuniweka. They were so keen reminding, they were telling Kenyans that is Raila who took them to broad-based, number 1. Number 2, that, you know, they are in government and they're not leaving government. And I remember saying in this podcast, who is this person who had asked some people to leave government? It was a manufactured agenda. Now, when you listen to Caleb Amisi is saying what Ruth Odinga is saying. That this broad-based thing of people going to cabinet, contrary to report that it is Raila who took their names there. No. William Ruto approached these fellows. And he used these fellows to hijack, to reach out to Raila, and Odinga was more vulnerable and he would not appear as weak. And that's why he did it to that call. Listen to, this is Caleb Amisi.
ODM guys in government.
They are eating.
Madi, Joho,
these are foodiers individuals. Foodiers, where there is food to them is okay.
So walijiweka hapo peke yao.
They ran to the president. They took an advantage of a moment where president is needy. And they went to convince him that they'll bring Raila on board. Raila could not come and denounce them. They are his children. He can't come and say, wameniachi. He will look weak. And these things Baba has told us to our face. That he came back from Dubai, he landed there, he called Junet. Junet told him, these people are already in State House waiting to be announced. Yeah.
So basically, Baba didn't know that these ODM guys were in the government.
They had approached Baba. About arrangement of some sort. But yeah. Baba told them, wait, I come, and then we make an arrangement so that we have a proper coalition agreement between the government, including Kalonzo. Kalonzo was supposed to be part of that agreement. Then from there, we go to what we call People's Convention, because the Gen Z are on the street. They are crying. We need to have what we call a generational talk between the young people and the government. So he said, we need a proper arrangement or a coalition and the period it lasts. What we call a unity government, including Kalonzo and Uhuru, a proper one. Then from there, we go to a People's Convention, a very clear way. But what happens while Baba was away, they went to Ruto and say, announce our names. There is no way Baba will come and denounce. So these people actually that are the cause of, if Baba has died out of pressure, these are the people who have caused Baba's death.
That's a very nice, very serious accusation.
Yes, it is serious because we know.
So what is happening clearly is, and you know what Ruth Odinga and Caleb Amisi are saying are the same thing. So already those experts are being disowned. That guys here, don't say here at ODM, you guys were looking for those positions. And the president used to. That is what he's saying. And she didn't stop there. In another video, in another screenshot that I want you to look at here, she said, like I have always indicated, the broad-based arrangement was to steady the ship that Kenya was until 2027. You cannot, as a member of the ODM party in the broad-based government, start shouting two-term. What will be your negotiating edge post-2027 polls? Our focus right now should be on strengthening the party, getting the right candidates who will deliver victory. Shouting two-time right now will not add any value to the party. I am stressing that because the voice of this podcast was that. And guys, I'm not bragging. No, I said it. And you can check here. And I asked, where is your bargaining edge if you are already worshipping? And I remember using an example of Musalia. And I said, Musalia got through ANC worshipping. What did he got? What did he get? He doesn't even run one member in the cabinet. And Raila came from a point of the president was desperate and so many cabinet slots went ODM way. Now, this is what I've been saying. Oh, I think some people from Odinga family have been listening to this podcast. I've been having this discussion that where is the way? And the two-term team are not very happy. If I want to tell you it's going to be chaotic up mbele, I want you to look at Robert Alai. Robert Alai, who one person I don't really appreciate by the way. Kusema tu kweli. But of course that's my opinion. This is Robert Alai. Aliona ile post ya Ruth. This is what he's saying. Bwana, this kind of politics won't work for ODM. If any of those people close to the acting party leader believes that they can take us to the streets to bargain with Ruto, we say no. Sahau kabisa, the chant is two-term. I want to tell Alai this, that when William Ruto was getting to an agreement with Raila, ODM was not the people who were on the streets. ODM were not the people who were on the streets. And I want to tell Robert Alai this, that after 2027 general election, ODM can still go to election with William Ruto. William Ruto can win that election, and the opposition gets more numbers. William Ruto will look for the opposition, even if that person will be Kalonzo Rigathi. And that Rigathi will get more cabinet slots than ODM hiyo yenye ilikuwa iko ndani. So this narrative of opposition is over there. Let ODM chances be open. And some people are not very comfortable with that. That is why they're stopping at nothing. And to show you that things in ODM are not going to look very easy, today Oburu Odinga met Babu Owino in Orange House. Babu Owino has been one of the dissenting voices. I remember this has come 2 days after Oburu appeared in Ramogi and was extending an olive branch to Babu that they need to have a sit down. And Babu is a very, Sifuna has been one of the characters that have been posting, not Sifuna, Alai is one of the characters that has been spending more time telling people the way Babu is Patel. I don't know what he's going to say if Babu now is being embraced by the ODM party, by the party leader. And in fact, it is the Babu Owino and the Sifuna voices are more prominent in the party. And a slight mistake to ignore those voices, Oburu was going to remain with a shell of the party. A shell of the party. But I'm glad that after emotions, sense is now sinking. And even Edwin Sifuna in the Senate today was lecturing Eddie Okech about the real meaning of broad-based.
You know, Honorable Speaker, it has become fashionable for people to throw around this thing. Every single discussion that comes up, we in broad-based. We in broad-based. I want to remind them that the broad-based is based on a 10-point agenda, one of which, Honorable Speaker, was to ensure that county governments are fully financed, fully funded, and that devolution is protected. So when you run around with this thing, always remember that there's an agreement there that is the underpinning of that relationship. And if you do not do what that agreement says, then you cannot run around talking about broad-based. So those of you who like to run around with that thing, please read it. And Honorable Speaker, I have said here before that because even Baba himself told the country that I'm the one who wrote that thing, don't argue with me about its contents. I know exactly what it says. I know exactly what the spirit was, exactly what the intention of that agreement was. So, Honorable Speaker, if you see a reduction in amounts that are going to counties of that magnitude, I, as a senator, sworn to protect devolution, I must raise the alarm. Let us not hear excuses from the Finance Committee. Let us not hear excuses for the Finance Committee. Which financial year will this Senate ever put its foot down and say, you give us all or nothing? Let the county governments shut down the way that he has said here. Because they're always blackmailing us with a shutdown of county governments.
Things are going to be tough. It is not going, and there was a plan to do that early endorsement. Let's go to Homa Bay. Some development related to this, and go with me to the Collins Ondeng. Collins Ondeng is an ally who also works for Kakamega, or not for Kakamega, who also works for Homa Bay County. And there is a post is made that I want us to analyze because it is attached to what we are discussing, and there is something from Homa Bay. It is well planned, well facilitated, and well protected exercise to completely destroy political image of Governor Gladys Wanga. It is coordinated and so well, and Peter Odour Widi is provided with 3 Toyota Land Cruiser V8, 6 police officers, media center with cameras. My question, is President William Ruto the agenda? Is that the broad-based government? Is that the broad-based government? Who is facilitating this? Outright, there is nothing substantial about this. This Collins is working in Homa Bay County and is a very close ally of Governor Gladys Wanga. And if you ask me, Wanga is also disassociating with the broad-based and is playing a victim card after the blunders that she made reacting to Kahiga. So now, I don't know who is fighting Gladys Wanga. And she's now saying that, it is someone, if Peter Odour Widi, Odour Widi is one of the politicians from Kasipul there. He also comes from Homa Bay. Some of you know him very well. And now, her team seems to be blaming Odour Widi, that Odour Widi is being funded by the president or some people to fight Wanga, to hit the image of Wanga. So Wanga is playing a card that from a long range, ushaona ile mtu anataka kutoka kwa nyumba na anataka kusema anakimbizwa. It is a manufactured reason to show dissent on the broad-based. And this is part of the signal. I do listen. I'll give you so many examples. There is another group called Dual. James Nyikal, same member of parliament. He was in TV47. And when he was reacting, and I paid attention to this gentleman because, this MP because he is the chairman of a group called Dual. Dual is a group of MPs from Luo Nyanza. Even though I understand now it's even some professionals are also in Dual. And Nyikal responds to Babu and the team. He was defending Babu and Sifuna Voices.
I don't understand why, because Jacomas died. Now people don't even remember what he said 3 months ago. The issue of, say, Sifuna, the way Sifuna has been talking before, and the way, say, Mbadi and we were at CSS and were talking before, they were looking like they were miles apart. But what did Jacom say when we were in Mweshimong on the way? He said, Sifuna is the Secretary General of the party. Listen to him when he's talking. He also has a right to talk. But when we want to make a party decision, we'll sit down and it will be stated. So, in this country, any party, you must contend with the fact that there are restless youth. And a party that is looking forward must actually plan to accommodate that youth. And you cannot accommodate them by dismissing what they say. Listen to what they say. This may be what you need for the future.
Brilliant.
Yeah, but you know, so for me, there's no split in ODM. ODM is a big party. It has many people. People talk what they want, but eventually we will sit down and with our party leadership, me, I'm not even in any of this. When it comes to the National Delegate Conference, I'll be there. But I can read and I know what is going on. So when the time comes, we'll sit down and you will see a very concrete one party moving on. People would have thought, oh, Sifuna will be fired a long time ago. Or people would have thought, Babu Owino won't even go to the funeral. Babu Owino came to the funeral. The young people always shout when he sees them, whether he's buying them or they like him. Something is happening around him, and I won't even dismiss him. If he is that popular and he has that wave, you think if you're a party you want to throw him away, you just find out how do we accommodate this. So a party that is big as ODM, with people from all over, with all this youth. Now, do you remember, do you know that there were a whole multitude of Gen Zs in motorbikes who are camping in Bondo, between Bondo and Kisumu, that they are mourning Jacob. Now, it is maybe somebody like me, when they see me, they don't get excited. So, but when they see Babu Owino, they get excited.
He is the chairman of Dual. I'm telling you, it is very clear that that issue of saying we are going two-term, we are going to endorse you now, it is not there. And I want to tell you why. First, I want to explain to you that I want to first remind you to support us kumaliza nyumba ya Bildad. Yeah, tumebakisha, what we are remaining with is windows, just the windows, plaster, and the floor. That is what we'll mobilize for today and tomorrow. And I believe that we will pull through. And kindly support us. Those who had already applied to support, yeah, thank you very much for responding. It is this. There's some blunders on the way. The moment Raila Odinga died, things happened very fast. Things happened very fast. I was asking someone who is very close to Odinga family, the larger Odinga family. And I asked her, not him, it's her, I asked her a question. The day a delegation left Nairobi for India to pick, not the body, to bring Baba home, that was the night, the very night, that was the night ODM sat and agreed on Oburu Odinga as the interim party leader. So I questioned, did these people even bother to pick an idea from Mama Ida? No. It comes out that it was supposed to be a caretaker moment because someone had imagined that someone wants to snatch that party. Now, the reason why it is collapsing is because Ruto's speech in Bondo that I will not allow ODM to slide to opposition was smelling like a party takeover. Since he made that statement, I've not seen anyone from the ODM party coming to defend him, saying, oh, hey, bana, hiyo ni evil. And I think the Odingas realized, if we are not careful, this party is being destroyed. He looked at both sides. Who is standing firm with the party? The second issue is this. The alleged experts were selfishly using the party as the shield of their cabinet positions. And selfishly, apparently, people know the truth. You know, yes, Raila had so many friends. I'm very sure so many people knew the truth. And you would actually wonder why, and I questioned that talk about track record. Talk about track record. That is why, do you know even the broad-based deal, do you know the cabinet slots is not part of the 10-point agenda? Do you know it is not? That so today, if these people are removed from cabinet, it is not tied to the broad-based, the 10-point agenda in the broad-based. It is not there. It is not an obligation to observe that. So that is one of the things that made a blunder. And people realized on that, the party is getting away. Lastly, Raila laid the ground for this. That last speech, alisema akiwa Machakos, who told you that ODM party will not have a candidate? That was the game changer. And I want you to imagine kama hiyo clip haingekuwa. The ODM storm is going to happen. It must happen. I foresaw it. Oh, I said it. It cannot hold. It will only depend on where the majority goes. But the party will be split. The guys in the mafuta cannot listen to anything away from that mafuta. Thank you.